Have you ever noticed that Sullivan's Crossing always saves its biggest emotional moments for the very last scene? Well, the season 4 finale may have done exactly that. And honestly, I don't think we've seen the full impact of it yet. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Breakdown Epic. If you're as excited for Sullivan's Crossing Season 5 as I am, then you're in the right place because today we're breaking down everything the finale set up, sharing the biggest predictions for what's coming next, and talking about when we could realistically expect the new season to arrive. And trust me, by the end of this video, you might look at that final scene very differently. So let's jump straight into it. Season 4 was all about testing relationships, but nothing shocked fans more than the unexpected return of Maggie's ex-husband, Liam. At first, it looked like the show was creating another predictable love triangle, but then everything changed when we learned the truth. Maggie had spent years believing Liam abandoned her when in reality, he had been held hostage while working as a war journalist and physically couldn't return. Personally, I think this was one of the strongest twists the series has ever delivered because it didn't make anyone the villain. Instead, it forced Maggie and the audience to question how different life could have been if fate hadn't intervened. Even with those emotions resurfacing, Maggie ultimately chose Cal and the life they've built together. But let's be honest, choosing someone and rebuilding trust are two very different things. Cal wasn't just upset about Liam returning, he was hurt because Maggie had hidden such an important chapter of her life. I actually liked that the writers didn't magically fix everything in one conversation. Real relationships don't work like that, and Sullivan's Crossing deserves credit for showing that trust takes time to rebuild. Another important storyline involved Ben finally accepting responsibility for the mistakes that put Tracy in danger. Instead of letting Maggie protect him, he chose to face the consequences himself. In my opinion, that moment quietly became one of the season's biggest turning points because it reminded everyone that accountability matters, and it also helped Cal realize that living in the past wasn't worth risking the future he wanted with Maggie. Then came the finale's emotional 1-2 punch. Just when Cal finally gathered the courage to propose, everything changed again. Before Maggie could even answer, Tracy arrived with heartbreaking news that her foster placement had completely fallen apart, meaning she was about to become a permanent part of their home. And then the episode simply ended. Seriously, Sullivan's Crossing really knows how to leave fans yelling at their TVs. Now let's talk about why this ending could completely shape Season 5. I honestly believe Tracy will become the emotional center of the new season. Kids who have spent years moving from one home to another often struggle to trust stability because every promise they've ever heard eventually disappeared. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if Tracy begins pushing Maggie and Cal away on purpose.
She may argue, ignore the rules, or even run away for a short time. Not because she truly wants to leave, but because she wants proof that someone will finally come looking for her. And if that happens, I think it could easily become the most emotional storyline the series has ever told. Imagine Cal and Maggie searching everywhere for Tracy before finally realizing that what she really needed wasn't punishment, it was reassurance that she finally belonged somewhere. That's the kind of emotional storytelling this show does best. As for Maggie and Cal, I think Season 5 needs to move beyond relationship drama and finally show them functioning as a real team. Even Chad Michael Murray has mentioned he'd love to see the couple facing outside challenges together instead of constantly dealing with secrets between themselves, and honestly, I couldn't agree more. Of course, that doesn't mean everything will suddenly become easy. In fact, I think Tracy herself could become their biggest challenge. Maggie and Cal may disagree over discipline, boundaries, or how much freedom Tracy should have. Funny enough, every parent thinks they're right until they realize the kid has outsmarted both of them. I can already picture Maggie saying one thing, Cal saying another, and Tracy quietly enjoying the confusion from the background. But eventually, those disagreements could actually make them stronger because they'll learn that parenting only works when they're standing together instead of pulling in different directions.
Looking toward the end of the season, I have a feeling the writers are building towards something fans have been waiting years to see, a wedding. The proposal already happened, even if Maggie never officially answered on screen, so it feels almost inevitable that Season 5 finally delivers that emotional payoff. And here's my personal prediction. Imagine Maggie and Cal finally saying "I do," only for the episode to end with Maggie discovering she's pregnant. That would be the perfect full-circle ending and exactly the kind of emotional surprise Sullivan's Crossing loves delivering. Now let's talk about when we might actually see Season 5. The series has already been officially renewed, which is fantastic news, and production is expected to begin in Nova Scotia once production gets underway. While no official premiere date has been announced yet, if the production schedule follows previous seasons, I think a Canadian release around March or April 2027 feels like a realistic possibility, with the US premiere arriving shortly afterward. Of course, that's still a prediction rather than a confirmed date, but it lines up with how the series has handled previous releases. At the end of the day, I think Sullivan's Crossing is entering one of its most exciting chapters. The writers already have everything they need: an unanswered proposal, a family that's about to change forever, and characters who have finally learned what really matters. If Season 5 delivers on everything Season 4 promised, we could be looking at the strongest season this series has ever produced. But that's just my opinion. Do you think Maggie and Cal will finally get married? Will Tracy truly accept her new family? Or do you think another surprise twist is waiting around the corner? Let me know your predictions in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Breakdown Epic.